Healing means transforming your pain. You may not get rid of it because it's just dwelling in the background, and that's what makes it so hard to deal with. This is Dr. Spencer Coaches. Today I'm going to talk to you about what it means to heal from trauma. Because I was tortured when I was little, and I grew up in a household that was very unemotional and experienced child emotional neglect. And in my life, I've had my challenges in a very racist community and had to overcome people just putting me down and just ostracizing me. And I had to find my way within a world where, in my mind at the time, seemed like everything was stacked against me. But I overcame obstacles and I learned how to succeed because I took that pain, I took the anger and transformed it into passion. But as I got older, more deeper levels of emotional pain came out. Because when I was tortured, I was isolated. I was actually abandoned. And that sense of, call it heartache. At first it was confusion, like, why am I here? How did this happen? And what the hell's going on? A lot of confusion, just miscomprehension, I found was the heart of a lot of the pain that I felt. And then once I understood what's happening, it's, well, why are these people doing this to me? And once I learned why they're doing it to me, it's like, well, what's the real greater reason? There's this sickness in people, and that's just the way things are. There's things going on in this society that I'm not going to discuss in this video, but I'll just leave it at that. That's for another video. But going through all of that gave me a sense of, I would think it would be resilience to survive, but I didn't know how to heal. Not until I got older. Not until after I tried to commit suicide. I went to a psychotherapist, and that was the first time I began to open up, at least vocalize my feelings. You see, in the path of healing, the first stage is denial. You may not even know that you're hurting. You may deny it. No, there's nothing wrong with me. But you're snapping at people, blowing up, having emotional episodes, going through changes, dyeing your hair, suddenly becoming a different person. There's all signs of trauma that are obvious or maybe not so obvious to people if you don't know it. But I can always tell when someone has trauma in their mind because they're hypervigilant. There's a sense of always on edge, and it's kind of either an intensity about it or there's a shyness about it. But they're always looking, they're always on guard. And that hypervigilance is a first sign of trauma that I see in a lot of people. And then denial, they're just in denial. No, nothing ever happened to me. No, I'm fine. Why are you asking me that? And they get upset about asking you that. Why the hell are you asking me? What's wrong with me? I nothing ever. And okay, that's a clear sign that something's wrong with you because you're getting triggered. Those are the signs of trauma. And, denial, I know I was in denial, and a lot of people are, because you're not grounded. You're in a disassociated state. It's almost like you're watching yourself live your life, but you're never fully there. And that's the impact that trauma has upon your mind and the quality of life that you have. A lot of people who have trauma start getting into drugs, because it's a way of regulating your emotions. When you have trauma, your emotions, you get triggered, they're all over the place. Anger, rage, fear, guilt, and shame, to despair, terror, and agony. And those emotions are not fun to feel. So you force a kind of false joy into your life by partying a lot, by doing drugs and hanging out with other people doing drugs. And then you kind of forget about your problems and create a false sense of happiness that's chemically, artificially induced. Now, it does some of it calms the mind. Like alcohol will calm your mind before it makes you hyperactive. Pot and things like that tend to calm your mind. A lot of the drugs that people with trauma use have a calming effect, a numbing effect, because you just don't want to feel it, because it's denial. But how do you deal with the pain? Some people are more resilient than others. They've had trauma and they seem to be living a very productive life. They're very happy and fulfilled. but sooner or later they deal with the pain, but it's not hard for them to deal with the pain because they've dealt with a lot of it growing up. You'll see this in athletes. This is what I did. I turned all of my anger and my rage into skateboarding, and I just channeled it into being a really aggressive skateboarder and accomplished a lot and entered contests and did really well and made a lot of friends. Channeling that, even a sense of depression, a sense of heartache. I realized if I put that feeling, the sense of despair into my actions became more fulfilling. I became more committed. I got better. I put all that emotional turmoil into my actions and transformed it. And then I started to feel good. I started to feel a sense of accomplishment, a sense of completion. Because the mind wants to come to completion. It wants to process those emotions and find peace. Find that center point again. And you can do that through art. A lot of artists do this. A lot of musicians do this. You channel that pain into the music. They play a sad song. They play an angry song. They play a song about confusion and betrayal. Play a song about heartache. Because you're actually feeling the emotion. You feel the emotion to process it and transform it. I'm actually had a lot of insecurity growing up, and I turned that insecurity into a sense of adventure and spontaneity. Rather than, oh my God, self-doubt, I don't know what to do and being frozen, I just said, you know what, I'm going to learn as I go. Once I got confident in my ability to learn, I knew I could figure things out as I went along. Didn't have everything figured out, but I can figure out as I go along. So I turned that insecurity into a sense of spontaneity and adventure. And people would say things to me, and I would just think of things on the spot. I became very witty. I began to think on my toes. And so I transformed the insecurity into a sense of being spontaneous, being free spirit, and being witty, and being fun as a result of that. So you see that you can transform these feelings, and that's how you can actually work with them. And that's part of the healing process. Because once you're out of the denial stage, there's going to be a sense of, usually it's anger. You're angry with the situation, angry at a person, the circumstance, the scenario. And then it comes to a sense of reconciliation of, okay, it's my pain, I've got to, or maybe you'll actually experience depression before the anger. And it's like, life sucks, this is terrible. But you're feeling something. You're feeling depressed. And then you feel angry. And then you come to a sense of reconciliation. And then you forgive. Because you're processing the emotions. It's your emotions. Something happened that caused you to feel this way, but now they're your feelings. Nobody put those feelings inside you. They're your feelings. It's a natural response to having someone betray you. It's a natural response to being disrespected. If someone hurt you, you have every right to be upset. But you got to own that upsetness. If you don't own the being upset, you're going to just place it on other people. You'll have very unhealthy relationships. You're going to blame other people and project yourself onto people. See, look at what you're feeling when it's actually your own feeling. It doesn't create a healthy personality. So you after the denial, you awaken to your emotions and then begin to feel them, begin to process them. And a lot of people dwell in how bad things, they dwell in the depression, or they dwell in the anger, they dwell in the anxiety, they ruminate, thinking over and over and over about what wronged them, who wronged you, and what happened. If it weren't for them, I'd be in a better place, sense of blame. They ruminate in this powerlessness. I can't do anything. I'm not good enough. I can't do it. It's easy to give up hope and play victim because there's no responsibility in being a victim. You have to blame everybody else. It's everyone else's fault. It's not my fault. I can't do anything about it. So I'm just going to drink and, hang out in this low disposition in life and blame everyone else. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. It's all their fault. Then you never hold yourself accountable, you never be responsible, and you never move on and grow in your life. Alcoholics are notorious for this. Drug addicts are notorious for this. You just take the easy road because you're not processing the emotions. You're suppressing the emotions. You're numbing yourself out to the emotions. You're actually trying to find regulation, emotional balance. But you have to face the emotions. You got to face the music and transform them. You can't just dwell on the bad feelings. You can't dwell on being angry. A lot of guys deal with anger. A lot of girls deal with sadness. And I think both deal with a sense of anxiety and insecurity and self-doubt. A lot of men have self-doubt, as do a lot of girls. But men don't show it because we can just speak our opinion. And men, we tend to be planners and decision makers, where women tend to be impulsive and emotional. So that's how we all deal with life. We try to make decisions that are sound to get ourselves into a better situation, where a woman will want to process and analyze and then come to an understanding and then make a decision and an action from that. But either way, there is a way of processing your emotions so you can transform them. You can't force yourself to find peace. You're not going to repress your emotions to find peace. Sooner or later, those bad feelings are going to rear their ugly face, and you're going to have to deal with them. And how you deal with them is by transforming them. Everyone has their own way of dealing with things. You may have a talk with the people who wronged you. You may confront them. You may have a conversation with them. Why did you do this to me? I didn't appreciate it when you did this. When you said this, it made me feel this way. When you did that, I really felt, betrayed or stabbed in the back. Why would you do that? I thought we were friends, or you're supposed to be my father or my mother. How come you let that happen? Or why did you do that to me? Have a conversation with them. Often here on the other side, most of the time the person didn't even know they hurt you. And that's kind of like, well, how could you not be aware of the impact you have with your actions or lack of actions? But getting an understanding, coming to an understanding, often resolves a lot of emotions, resolves a lot of turmoil, because you want to know why. Why did that happen? Why did you do that to me? What were you thinking? And you get the answers, at least the answers that they're going to be ready to give. It's another way of dealing with it. Just communicating, hashing it out, just venting, beating on a punching bag, yelling into an empty room, yelling at a big teddy bear, or crying your eyes out with a teddy bear and just hugging it. Whatever it is you're feeling, you've got to let it out and express it to process it. You've got to actually feel it fully. And once you're done feeling it, your brain already has a sense of homeostasis. It already knows how to balance itself. The brain will come to a sense of balance, and you'll experience a sense of peace and resolution. And you may experience that as forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't really absolving the other person of their wrongdoing if someone harmed you. It is letting go of the resentment that you carry. Resentment is a poison you drink that was made for somebody else. It just eats away at you, slowly like rust does. It rots you from the inside out and turns your mind into a mind of self-pity. Once you're in the hole of self-pity, it's a very dark place. You'll just blame everything and just give up all hope. And that's really the deepest level of depression. And, once you're there, you need professional help. It's very hard to get out of that yourself, unless you have a strong will and determination. If you have that will and determination, then you have hope. That you see the possibility of bettering yourself, that there's a glimmer of hope that you can pursue that glimmer, and you figure out a way to get yourself out of the hole. Figure out a way to resolve those emotions and feel better. You may pick up a guitar. You may start journaling. You may start going for hikes. Getting yourself out of a bad situation. Maybe it's a dysfunctional family, and you just need to escape. You need to find some place where you can be yourself and let your guard down. Whatever that is for you, find that place and go there. And go there every day. It could be a hiking trail that you like, to the top of a hill with a great view. It could be you're in a city, you can go to the roof of the building you're in and just look out over the horizon. It often gives the brain that says, wow, I'm getting so caught up in the minuscule details, I'm not seeing the big picture. When you see the horizon, it transforms your outlook, and you realize, wait, there's more possibility out there than I thought. There's got to be a resolution. There's got to be a way out of this, of feeling like this all the time. When you transform your pain, you find yourself again. You get your power back. A lot of healing is really getting your personal power back, knowing what's good for you, what isn't good for you, so you make the right choice, knowing your core values, knowing what's important to you, knowing what brings you joy, and be willing to execute actions that cultivate joy. Put yourself in situations that are joyous to experience. Develop courage. You have the courage to face things, face challenges. You develop confidence. You believe in yourself. You've learned a few things or two. You know how to apply yourself effectively to get what you want, to succeed. And then a sense of appreciation, a sense of gratitude. You know, when you look back in your life, there's something to be proud of. There's something to be thankful for. There's something to appreciate. And what cultivates all of those aspects together brings a sense of fulfillment to you, because you find your personal power. When you find your personal power, you get your confidence back. You get your courage back. You develop a growth mindset. You get your joy back, and you get your gratitude back. And when you get all of those back, you realize that you're empowered to live the life that you truly want to live. And it's not easy to get there. It often takes a therapist. You can talk to a life coach like myself. I'm a transformational mindset coach because I find most people's problems are in their mind. And most people who want to get to another level in their life find it challenging to execute action. There's a high degree of procrastination, hesitation, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs. And the most popular limiting belief is I'm not good enough, or it's not my fault, or I don't need you. And we tell ourselves these thoughts, and it creates these emotions. It amplifies bad feelings. And then we ruminate on these bad feelings. We just dwell on them. And why do I feel this way? And then start to blame people. And that never gets you to the next level in your life. In transforming your emotions, rather than suppressing them, working them out, processing your emotions is different than obsessing over past wrongdoings. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think analyzing and constantly obsessing over that person did this to me and this is what happened to me is the same thing as processing your emotions. Transforming your emotions is really processing your emotions. You feel it in your body. You can't analyze it. You got to feel it in your body. It's an in-body experience. When you're able to feel it in your body, the brain can actually process it more effectively as you feel it fully. So getting grounded in your body through exercise, through qigong, through yoga, through literally walking barefoot on the earth and grounding yourself, to just noticing what's around you, feeling the chair, feeling the floor beneath you, smelling the air, noticing the light, the intensity of the light, noticing the sound, the quality of sound, noticing the smell, the scent. Get into your senses. Your 5 senses are in your body. You see through eyes that are in your body. You feel in your skin. You hear with your ears. It's in your body. When you're able to feel fully, you're able to transform the emotions. If you need help doing this, this is what I do for my clients. I've gone through a lot of trauma and turmoil in my own life. And I'm just further down the road. I'm not better than anybody. I'm just further down the road. And I often just show my clients, give them techniques to process their emotions so they can clear them out and really feel the joy that's underneath all of those bad feelings and get their fulfillment back and have a degree of satisfaction. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead and contact me. My information will be below this video. We can set up a discovery session where I can get to know what it is you want to create in your life, where it is you want to go, what direction you want to take, what goals you want to create. And then we can create a plan together to get you there, because not everyone is the same. And if I don't understand what it is you want, where you're coming from, and where you want to go, I'm not going to know how to help you. So that's why the discovery session is really important. So contact me. My information will be below this video. This is Dr. Spencer Coaches. Thank you so much for listening. I sure hope that helps.